Hail and well met, weary travellers, and welcome back to the fireside because it's time for another chapter of Polyhedron Collider Plays D&D. You totally put me off, Rory.
Sorry. I nearly interrupted you then and said it's time for beer o'clock.
It is time for beer o'clock, that's true. Tonight we have the Champions of Chance, surprisingly, and we are, myself, John Cage, as Xanhorn the Bard, Ben Hopper as Benjin the Barbarian, Paul Ralph as Cenza the Cleric, Rory Summers as Havarl the Paladin, and last but not least, our benevolent DM Steve. You're benevolent tonight, right?
Super nice and really handsome.
Yeah. Anyway, so Steve, if you'd like to step once again into the torchlight and resume our story.
So, in the last session, you went after, tracked down some fire giants who'd stolen some wages of a couple of carts that were heading through the Silvery Moon Pass. You easily tracked them down and found two fire giants sitting around a fire with two hellhounds as their pets. You then proceeded to fight them. Xanhorn almost died from having a boulder thrown at him, but you generally managed to get away with by using one of your spells to convince one of the giants to be peaceful and negotiate with you. But you managed to grab the money and are heading back down the mountain, back towards Hawk's Nest.
Indeed.
Yes.
And as we walked, Xanhorn revealed that he is now a member of the Harpers. But don't tell anyone.
That was a secret. It was a secret.
Shh, don't tell anyone. He couldn't contain himself. You know what he's like.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take you long to get back to Hawk's Nest, where, well, I say reasonably long. It took you about 7 hours to track the trail, but seeing as how you are, you kind of know where you're going this time, you managed to take a couple of shortcuts. However, it is late evening by the time you get back to Hawk's Nest, so the sun has set and things are dark, and you're welcomed in by some of the guards who basically tell you to, if you could, just take a rest for the night, and the Lord will speak to you in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yes, happy to rest. Thank you, man.
Can I ask one of them though? Do they accept giant heads for a reward around here?
They say you're better off going to one of the main Lord's Alliance cities for that.
Okay. Good job, Cenza. Cast a spell that should at least preserve it for a bit longer.
Yes. We don't want you inside the bag of holding to go all goopy again.
No, it took him ages to mop it out last time.
How long does the preservation spell last, Cenza?
10 days.
Right.
Can you reapply it?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh.
So will it start ponging in about 9 days' time?
Right.
No,
So
it's
when
one.
something smells, we have to know that it's not Benjin, and that we need to apply a spell to a rotting giant head. Lovely.
Mm.
Did you struggle to mop it out? Because every time you put the mop in, you could never reach the bottom.
There isn't technically a bottom, I don't think. There's no real sort of walls to mop, I suppose. There's just a bit of...
Surely you turned it inside out. That would do it.
Never do that.
What would happen if...
Hi, Panda. Xanhorn's not 100% sure, but he's pretty certain it's bad.
Never turn a bag of holding inside out. Right.
Benjin's going to try it at some point.
Right. So let's get some sleep then, men.
Where?
Long rest for you all. There are a couple of taverns in town.
I would prefer to stay. I'm sure there's some bunks or something, or some barracks.
There is an inn because you are not been sworn in yet, so you are.
Right. Okay.
There's two inns: the Hawk's Roost and the Inn of the Silver Sword, and a rather rough tavern for such a militaristic town.
A rough tavern? Isn't this like a militarist, like a stronghold of paladins?
Yeah, but the soldiers tend to get a little bit drunk in the evening, and
We shan't be going there.
I think you'll need to talk to Benjin about that one.
Okay, let me rephrase it. I'm not going there.
Good choice.
Benjin's already there.
Is there a stage there?
There is. Well, no, there isn't really. There may be a space you can perform in the tavern, though you might get your flute broken by the looks of it.
Well, if there's an opportunity to spread their fame, Xanhorn will take it, no matter the cost.
Okay, make a performance check.
Looks like the team's splitting up tonight then.
Yeah, you managed to hold their attention for long enough for them to start singing your songs in the chorus. But as the evening seems to devolve more and more into drink as it goes on. But you seem to have you've got their attention. Hopefully they'll remember it in the morning.
He'll sing some songs about bravely fighting giants and all the rest of it. About how Xanhorn pretty much single-handedly defeated them, despite swatting away boulders.
Right.
So the rest of the evening is uneventful. The following morning,
Is it a long rest then?
Long rest, yes. You have a long rest. You replenish your spell slots and your hit points, and half your expelled hit dice if you use any.
Nope.
No. We need to remember those, actually.
We need a short rest for that.
That's what I mean. We need to remember to take some short rests.
Need to have the opportunity to take some short rests.
I didn't realise you had had a spell that gives us an extra hit dice.
I can do a song of rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It so rarely comes up that we have a short rest.
I don't think I've ever had a short rest.
We must have done at some point, surely.
No, I don't think I ever have.
Good skills.
But then, to be honest, I've got such a high armor class, nothing really ever hits me.
Yeah, all right. Show off.
Boulders?
If
What are they?
only that were the case for all paladins.
What's that, Steve? Challenge accepted.
Okay, so Benjin, of course, has had a little bit to drink, so he's a little bit late to rise, and as has Xanhorn.
Benjin is not late to rise on Valentine's Day.
Oh my.
So Havarl and Cenza are eating breakfast in the inn when the Lord Arthur Cavalos, who is the gentleman who gave you the mission, comes in to greet you. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Lord.
Good morning, my lord.
Sorry I didn't greet you last night. I heard you came back quite late. So you're all well and breathing?
Of course. It takes more than a couple of fire giants to stop the champions of chance.
Good to hear. Did you succeed? Did you manage to reclaim the finances?
Of course. We did, yes. I'm afraid the chests, the strong boxes in which they were in, were destroyed, but we have returned every penny.
Excellent. Good to hear. Now, are your two fine companions still asleep, perchance?
I'm afraid so. They enjoy a good celebration after killing a fire giant, you see, and I'm not one to disappoint the men.
Ah, good. Well, since you're both here, that I suppose I should. It's opportune in a way. Now, I will thank you very much for your actions, and we'll be holding a feast in your honour this evening, I believe. Seems only right.
Thank you very much. That's most gracious of you.
Most unexpected, my lord. Thank you.
However, you two, I hear you're after mounts. Is the reason why you came here? Is my understanding?
Yes. Not to try and persuade you that our motives are purely altruistic. We are in need of flying mounts to reach a friend of ours who's in great danger.
No, I can't give these mounts to just about anyone. I hope you realise that. So,
Absolutely.
I would have to insist that if you were to take on these, I couldn't just give them to you. In fact, I'd insist that you become members of Orders of the Gauntlet.
I see no problem with that as an honourable man and an honourable tradition, and as the Order of the Gauntlet is, then this all sounds very good to me. I mean, we wouldn't even need to use them for a very long time. We need to simply rescue our friend, and these mounts would be returned to you unharmed, I'm sure.
That doesn't matter so much. So you're willing to accept this honour, Havarl?
I'm sure there are some terms and conditions that we need to address, but
Of course there will be, but
this is not quite so simple as spitting in one's palm and shaking hands, I'm sure.
You've proven yourself to be worthwhile, and your devotion to Tyr shows that you are of the right persuasion, shall we say. And he turns to you, Cenza. What about you? Priest of Ogmar, I see. A noble cause.
Indeed, I seek knowledge in all things.
Could I interest you in membership, sir?
Can I do an insight check on him?
Yeah?
Reason being, I under the impression the Order of the Gauntlet was primarily composed of worshippers of three. Was it Tyr, Helm, and someone else?
It's written right in front of me and I can't find it. Helm, Torm, and Tyr.
Okay. So that's only an 11, which isn't great. So I'm trying to figure out why he's offering membership to a Cleric of Ogmar.
He seems to be genuine in what he's proposing to you. Doesn't seem to be any subterfuge in his actions that you can tell. Of course, he notices you've got some slight. You seem to be having some slight reservations. He goes, I wouldn't want you to take on things that might conflict with your faith. I realise that Ogmar is slightly not aligned with our gods. However, I would like to make a proposal.
Go on.
Each hippogriff can carry 2 mounts. If I train you 2 in the riding of hippogriffs, and your colleagues can be passengers.
That is a logical proposal, my lord. I believe it is in our best nature to accept.
At this point,
excellent.
Xanhorn come walking down the stairs.
Yes. He turns and smiles. He hears that, turns and smiles and goes, well...
Ben stumbles. Ben trips over slightly just behind him.
Xanhorn and Benjin, I suggest you better eat breakfast quickly.
Our training begins.
It began 10 minutes ago and you're all late. Come on. Up. Get going.
Xanhorn trips over.
I've missed this.
Xanhorn will try and salute because we know how to do it, so I'll just be like... It's not really a fay with the whole military thing. He's seen it in plays and things, but
Plays.
Right then. So you are basically stormed out to the training yard, out inside, and out in all weather. You're first of all given typical kind of military standing at attention. You know, Sergeant Major comes over at you. What the hell is this in your beard, sir? Pointing at Benjin. Xanhorn, a bit scrawny, aren't you? You have to be a knight. Havarl, just a silent nod. Cenza, I'm almost impressed with you. Bookworm. And over the course of the rest of the morning,
Name calling.
over the rest of the morning, he takes you through the process of teaching you For starters, just on how to approach the hippogriffs, how to get their trust, how to make sure they don't claw your eyeballs out.
I thought, isn't a hippogriff a lion, a horse with wings?
It's a horse, yes. It's a half griffin, half horse.
Or half
No,
griffin?
Half eagle, half horse.
Okay.
So it's a front half eagle, back half horse. So they are, yes, and with wings, of course. They are less temperamental than griffins, but they are smaller than griffins.
True.
So just as you would have to be trained to learn how to use a horse, you have to be trained how to ride a griffin.
So, can Benjin, under his breath, do the speak with animals ritual? Okay.
I like
But,
it.
Benjin,
this
there
might
are no
backfire. This
shortcuts.
might backfire.
Benjin, there are no shortcuts to this training.
No,
Let's
under
just
his
do as
breath.
the man
You're on-
says.
Under his breath. This is not. You guys, I'm hoping, don't hear this. And he
Right,
can-
what's hang on, speak with animals, what's the effect?
you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
With beasts.
The knowledge and awareness of
You
many
would-
beasts in a limited
You
way.
attempt it, but it doesn't work.
Sorry?
You tempt it,
Right.
it doesn't seem to work. You cannot seem to communicate with the hippogriffs.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Interesting.
That's yeah. And I understand that it should work. Okay. All right. Well, no. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, I understand where this is. Something to do with beasts, is it?
Yes.
Right.
Technically, hippogriffs are not beasts.
Okay.
Are they creatures?
They're monstrosities.
Sounds a lot nicer.
So I will. Did the guys hear me try and do it?
Make a stealth check.
Kind of doesn't matter anyway. But
Opposed by our perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Passive perception.
Passive perception, yes.
Oh,
Right.
that's 13 for
Yeah.
me.
hang on, stealth.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yep, so you don't notice him doing it, but it doesn't do anything. Right.
No. So I'll probably
Hey, I got 22. I
Right,
noticed.
Passive
I was
perception.
passive. I was 14. Damn.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to tell Cenza anyway that I tried
Okay.
to speak with them and it didn't work.
Fair
Because he
enough.
seems to be the one that may be able to, I don't know, understand why. What Benjin was trying to do was just show off.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I'll just mumble back to him. Is that why you've been talking under your breath for 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
We all just assumed he was doing the whole breathe in, then breathe out, then breathe in, then breathe out.
Right, can everyone make an animal handling check?
Oh,
Oh!
First one.
yeah.
Oh dear.
Which, this is a bone of contention I have with my flipping background when I selected it. I'm meant to be a cavalryman type of soldier. Don't get any bonus for my animal handling.
Oh, so hang on. Benjin and Havarl both scored the same.
Yeah. So by the end of the first day, you've got more used to the beasts, but you obviously haven't quite got the knack of it, and you're told to come back the following day to carry on your training.
All right.
Cenza, shall we message Fel and see how he's doing?
Absolutely. Fel, we're coming. Hold on. Getting flying mounts. Be there as soon as we can. Stay strong, my friend. Which is 19.
Okay, all you get back is just kind of and like kind of pain and gritting your teeth.
Okay, so I tell the guys he's still alive, but obviously in great pain. We need to get a move on.
Okay.
Okay. So, you spend another day out in the yard, the grueling training, insulted by your taskmaster, getting the odd scratch and bite off the hippogriffs, but you feel as if you're making some progress. Can you make another animal handling check, please?
Oh dear.
Oh no!
Xanhorn's getting the hang of this now.
Hang on.
But he's the only one.
Well, Xanhorn seems to be the only one making absolutely any progress. You've managed to get to the point where you're allowed to, you managed to get to the point where you can sit on them, but most of them are finding that they either snap at you or throw you off, or just generally won't do what they're told. And you end up going to your beds that night, absolutely knackered and drained, with aching muscles and the odd bruise and scratch.
Right. Before we go to bed, right, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to look for somebody who looks like they've ridden a hippogriff for a long time. I want to look for an older chap and someone who potentially has a couple of scars on him, who has learnt the hard way how to ride a hippogriff. Is there anybody like that in the bar?
It's easy to spot something like that. Is the quiet person at the corner looking over the place with a sense of kind of quiet confidence, should we say?
Okay. So I'm going to approach this gentleman. I assume it's a gentleman?
Yes.
Hail, my friend. May I join you?
If you're buying a drink, yeah.
Of course, for you. Are the rest of the guys with me, or have you guys gone to bed? To make sure?
I imagine Xanhorn's in the bar, but he's having felt like he's made some progress. He's off trying to find stories about giants and anything that might further him in the Harpers.
Benjin will be in the bar, obviously.
Okay.
Okay, I will have gone to bed and be reading.
My friend, I hope you can help me. I'm having some trouble mastering the art of approaching a hippogriff, let alone riding one. My task is severe. I'm on quite a short time frame, and I need to master this soon. I was wondering if there's any advice that you can impart upon me would be greatly received.
Make a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my days.
Even though you've rolled crap, he does seem to be quite impressed that you come to ask him for help. And he basically says, rabbits.
Rabbits, you say?
Rabbits. Hippogriffs love rabbits.
Okay. So, alive or dead?
Doesn't matter as long as they're reasonably fresh.
Reasonably fresh.
Don't need to gut it either. Just they'll crunch right through that bone.
Okay, and after that, they would be more susceptible to allow me to ride them, perhaps?
The thing about a hippogriff is it's half horse, half eagle. Once it's sated and not hungry anymore, it just wants to run. Make sure it's happy and fed, then let's just go for it.
Oh, that's excellent news. And are there rabbits nearby? Is there a warren?
That I can't help you with, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
There are maybe some in the kitchens, but
but are you thirsty, my friend? You look thirsty.
I'm a little bit hard day.
Havarl brings out his finest glass of water.
I will have another of your finest ales for my friend here. Thank you. So, if one was to be in need of rabbits, where would be the best place to look, would you think?
Well, if you're a proficient tracker or woodsman, I'm sure you can find some on the hillsides nearby. If you were of a lazier slant, maybe if you stuck your head for the back door of the kitchen.
It's an interesting quandary I'm in. Particularly proficient at hunting, being a rather large man in chainmail, but neither am I lazy. I'm going to have to find option 3. Get someone else to do it for me. Delegation. That's what they taught me in the military.
I like your thinking. Thank you for the drink, sir.
My friend, you have been much help. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Where's Benjin? Benjin, my friend, I've got a very special task for you. Only the most expert of huntsmen would be able to undertake. One of the best trackers would be able to do this, especially on a night like tonight, with such cloud cover and so little light. You'd need keen eyes and quick wits. Are you the man for this challenge?
I don't actually have tracking. Everyone seems to think I'm a tracker, but
you do have the Wanderer background, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
You can catch game.
yeah. I can't remember what the Wanderer background is, but yeah.
So, Benjin, we urgently need some rabbits.
Outlander background, sorry.
Outlander.
I was wondering if you and I would maybe head outside, head towards the fields and the mountains, and perhaps trap us some rabbits to help us with our hippogriffs tomorrow.
Oh. I don't think rabbits should be a problem.
I didn't think that'd be a
won't
problem
take
for
long.
you, my friend.
Just
Butter,
rabbits
butter, butter.
or
Just rabbits.
deer, stags? No.
No.
Elves?
No.
No.
Xanhorn's ears prick up.
No, we just need some rabbits to offer as gifts to our hippogriffs, and they will be more inclined to let us ride them. I feel we will make far faster progress tomorrow, and therefore rescue Fergalas. And I know you're very keen to get up in the air and start flying around on one of these things.
Yeah. Right.
Brilliant. Off you go then. I'll keep your seat warm.
Yeah. Oh, I need something for the road though.
Of course. Here,
A bottle of something.
Barman, couple of bottles of ale for my friend here.
Right. Cheers. Right.
Good hunting, my friend. I'll see you in the morning.
Looks like I'm going hunting.
Benjin, can you make a survival skill check?
Yeah. Survival. I get mauled by a rabbit.
It's got huge, nasty teeth.
Survival skill check.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, they're just rabbits.
Should be better, but
Doesn't take you long to find a Rory and set up some traps, and before you know it, you are splendid with rabbits.
how many have I got?
You've got enough for everyone to feed their respective
Hippogriffs.
hippogriffs.
Okay. So I will I will at least have one of those bottles of beer while I'm with the rabbits, and yeah, wander back. Oh, hang on. Whereabouts am I? Am I like in the woods?
Yeah, there's just some hills just outside. You haven't actually gone too far outside the camp.
Okay. Anything of interest? Anything like looking back at the city that catches my eye, or anything?
No, nothing untoward.
Nope. Okay, well, I'll head back with them then. And I guess everyone's in bed, are they?
No, Xanhorn's still. Oh, depends how.
I don't know how long I've been hunting.
You would have been out a couple of hours to do that.
Okay. Right.
Did Xanhorn find anything out about giants or other bits of interest that he might relay back to the Harpers? Giants' movements and that sort of thing.
A persuasion check. What'd you get?
15.
Sorry, I can't see. what's it called? Chrome has just crashed on me, so I can't say anything at the moment.
Oh yeah, you're signed out. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, you managed to find. You get some little snippets of information from various people, most of which you've kind of heard before. So information about further to the south, there are more increased sightings of hill giants stealing food, accompanied by goblins, hobgoblins, and such like. Plenty of reports of fire giants, which you already know about in the area. Somebody mentions that some frost giants have been attacking the coast. But other than that, most of it seems to be stuff you've already heard.
Okay. And no one's seen a flying castle over the Evermoors?
Some people say they saw a castle floating over to the south west, but then when they say that, his pals like rib him and go, "Ooh, floating castle, was it? Queen of the Elves in it, was it?" So he kind of shuts up and goes, "You know, sort of saw, sure of it."
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm just out of game a second. I'm just reading about Outlander, and then they've got Origins, but I don't seem to have any of the equipment it said that I should have, like a hunting trap.
Let's
Oh, well.
assume you used it.
Yeah.
Should I add one? I'll tell you, I'll buy one at the next town.
Let's assume you've used that one already.
Oh, do you, what? It's single use, is it, or it broke?
Let's just assume it broke for now.
Okay, right, fine.
That's why it's not in your inventory, you see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Xanhorn will probably retire to bed, having found out a few bits and pieces, played a couple of songs.
So Benjin will come into the room. I presume, because you're in the tavern and the other two are in one of the bunkhouses. I'm in the tavern, so I'll come in. I'll presume Xanhorn's asleep, so I'll just stuff all the rabbits in the bag of holding. roll out my camp mat on the floor and go to sleep.
Okie doke. Right. So you have your third day of training on use of hippogriff mounts.
While we're at breakfast and preparing for this stuff, Xanhorn's going to play some little melodies just while they're sat waiting for things to go on, and he's going to give everyone a single bardic inspiration, including himself. So that's all for So
and we can add this to any skill check, can we, John?
Indeed. A D8.
A D8 to any skill check, any one skill check.
Yeah.
First time I've had any bardic inspiration.
There you go.
It's a night of firsts, almost.
I'll do it when we're about 10 minutes away from from starting our training, just to be clear, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve, just backtracking again. For some reason, you're right, I did take Wanderer. For some reason, I've written Outlander down on my my sheet. But definitely I took Wanderer, because reading what that was, it's all about the finding the food and everything. Because I've been feeding everyone.
Where did you get Wanderer from?
Sorry?
That's definitely a background, because Falco's got it.
Yeah, but where's that from?
Oh, no, sorry. Or is that part of...
the finding the food is part of Outlander. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying, where did you get Wanderer from?
Oh, sorry. Wanderer is the feature of Outlander.
Right, okay.
Right, okay. That's me getting very confused. That's unlike me. I will reread my...
Yeah, Wanderer is the feature.
Stuff. Yeah.
Gives you
Wanderer's
memory for maps and geography.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just getting a bit confused because obviously it was a pre-made character.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So we've got bardic inspiration.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell the guys obviously that that I've got the rabbits, and over breakfast I'll pull one out and show them, and I'll just eat a bit of one of them raw and go, yeah, they're actually pretty good.
Lovely.
Shouldn't you be saving that for the hippogriffs?
At this point, I'll explain why Benjin's got a bag full of rabbits.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Come on, men. Let's do this.
As we're on our way over to the grounds, I am going to cast Enhance Ability Owl's Wisdom on myself to give myself advantage on wisdom checks. Skills.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Okay, so another grueling day, but this time you've got the advantage of you feed your hippogriffs these rabbits beforehand, and you're able to get their get some kind of more of a friendly approach to them. So again, make your animal handling checks, but this time if you fed it with a rabbit, you've got advantage on the check.
Cool.
At what point do I need to nominate whether I'm going to use my bardic inspiration?
You can do it after the roll, but before I say whether it's a success or not.
Okay, so I've fed a rabbit, and I am going to. That's it. I fed him a rabbit.
You need to use it in the next 10 minutes anyway, so you might as well.
I'm going to use mine, yeah.
Yeah. So mine's a 16 total.
20.
Oh,
Boom. 20 for me as well. So
Right. I'm on 22
Nice.
with a critical success.
we're all suddenly flying gods.
So it doesn't take long then for you to get the gist of it, get the hang, and get the trust of your hippogriff mounts. And before long, you're either managing to control these things actually in the air, flying ground, or managing to hold on at the back as a rider without any issues at all. You're given a congratulations at the end of the evening, at the end of the day, and you are kind of ushered in and told that you will be issued with some mounts in the morning if you wish to use them. But then you were all invited into the Temple of Tyr.
Okay.
Very good.
Where you find the Lord Cavalos is standing at the front. So, Havarl, come forward.
Yes, my lord. I step forward, bow reverently.
Kneel, please.
Take a knee.
Are you armed and ever vigilant against evil?
I am armed and ever vigilant against evil.
Will you fight evil wherever you will see it?
I will fight evil whenever I see it.
Will you enforce justice and enact retribution against all evil actions, but not strike preemptively?
Yes. I forgot how that one started.
So you will enforce justice and enact retribution against evil actions, but you will not strike preemptively.
I will enforce justice and what was it? Retribution.
Enact retribution against evil actions.
Against evil actions, but never strike preemptively.
Please repeat after me. Faith is the greatest weapon against evil.
Faith is the greatest weapon against evil.
Faith in one's God, one's friends, and oneself.
Faith in one's God, oneself, and one's friends.
Punishing an evil act is just.
Punishing an evil act is just.
But punishing an evil thought is not.
Punishing an evil thought is not.
Xanhorn will nudge Cenza.
We all stand in witness of the vows this man has taken, and we welcome him as a knight of the Order of the Gauntlet. Arise, Sir Havarl.
Sir Havarl, yes, of course.
Xanhorn will salute him.
Benjin mutters under his breath, I'm not calling anyone sir.
He right, hoists you up by hand, pats you on the shoulder, and goes, "Right then, dinner."
Let's.
So he takes you into the main hall, basically where a big feast has been set on, and it seems that nearly all of the Hawk's Nest garrison is there. And you have a rather enjoyable evening where he boasts about. He doesn't boast, but they seem to be rather kind of humble boasts about things, stories from the War of the Silver Marches, about bravery of his men. He seems to be very much a case of, talking about his men first. My men slaughtered a bunch of orcs, rather than saying like he did. He seems very, very humble in his actions. So, a knight of the Order of the Gauntlet, 2 hippogriffs at your disposal, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, this will, of course, be property of the Order of the Gauntlet, but that's understandable. What will you do now? What are your actions next, Sir Havarl?
A good night's sleep, and then we will leave. Singing the. I think we have a quick mission where we need to go to Xanhorn's Hall to beseech the Lord there for what we believe is a magical weapon to help us on our quest to thwart this giant menace.
Say hello to Lord Xanhorn for me. Delightful chap.
Are you old friends?
Yes, acquaintances. He watches over the past that way. Keeps an eye over the Evermoors and the forests of the north. Awfully lonely, poor man, though.
Yes, why poor?
Oh, sorry, no, poor isn't easy. He's a lord, he's rich, he's got to keep. He's just poor in other ways.
Oh, how so? Does he want for anything, or is it just purely a matter of being lonely and cooped up alone in that keep?
Generally that, yes. I think there was some unpleasantness with his son. Such a shame.
I don't mean to pry, but a lord of this renown, I've heard tales of this man for leagues from here. What trouble could his son have been in?
What I hear is he's a bit of a bad apple, his son. Bit of a family disgrace. Xanhorn took it on the chin, but took it to heart, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Believes he's responsible for his son's actions. I don't blame him.
No?
No, if you believe the tales, there was none finer a giant slayer.
It is very sad to hear this. I have awkward relations with my father also. As a son, I can only imagine how it all feels.
Anyway, as I said, pass on my wishes to him.
I certainly shall. And then listen, after this, we are searching for our magical flying castle in the sky where our friend is being held captive. I suppose you've heard or seen nothing of the castle?
There are some sightings of some of my men in troops. My men on Hippogriff back have made sightings of such a castle over the Evermoors. It's easy to spot, apparently. But
do you have roughly any idea where it was seen last, whereabouts, or does it change location?
I think if you ride above the cloud line, you should find it pretty soon.
That is very good to hear. And the hippogriffs will be fine at such altitudes.
Yes, yeah, they'll be fine. You, on the other hand, don't stay up there too long, old boy.
Okay, is it like that? Brilliant. I shall bear that in mind. Thank you.
Now, dessert.
Yes. Good man.
Benjin's fallen off his chair by the looks of things. So full from the feast.
I'm going to take a moment to talk to Cenza and Xanhorn about what I've just learnt from Lord Cavalos about the son of Xanhorn, and maybe send them off into the ranks if they can glean any of these tales about Xanhorn's son. Whether that's going to be worthwhile information.
Okay, so
can I keep an eye on Xanhorn's reaction, knowing what he's like with nobles abusing their power?
Beg your pardon, sorry?
Depends what Xanhorn does.
He hasn't heard anything about him abusing his power, just that his son doesn't get on well with him, right?
That's all I know. Xanhorn, great giant slayer, adventurer, going to have lots of good stories. His son was a bit of a bad apple, and there are tales about this. We need to find out what happened to his son. We need to find out where his son is. Anything we can do to ingratiate ourselves in with Xanhorn, get that sword.
Sounds good. Xanhorn turns around and walks off and starts trying to talk to people. Stories.
and reuniting a father and son, estranged. That's one of those gentler kind of poetic verses there.
As Xanhorn walks off, yep, got it. Good stories, got it.
Right. What is for dessert?
Bread pudding.
Bread pudding, a soldier's favourite.
Can we backtrack to when we walked in? Just as we walked into it, right? Ben sees the people walking around with trays with tiny food on.
Like, no. This is soldiers' food, Benjin. There's no tiny food here.
Oh, that's all right then. Benjin was going to ask what the trays of tiny food were.
It's all hearty. It's all hearty meals full of protein and carbs.
Oh, Benjin will enjoy this.
You know, someone who spent an all day riding a hippogriff will need the calories. So,
Right.
Frankly, I imagine Benjin kept a few rabbits for himself.
Probably did.
Well, a full Benjin is a happy Benjin.
Yeah.
Look like a hippogriff.
Is there any ale in here?
Oh yes, there's plenty of ale going round.
So, I'm going to say to Havarl, how come they all drink and you don't? I thought this was a Paladin thing, but... Come on, Jack! And I slap him on the back and I hand him a bottle of booze.
Really, it's not for me anymore, my friend. Put the bottle... In fact, I'm going to just give him the bottle back. There was a time when drink, and I was never far from the drink. But those days are long ago. I have to pay for my mistakes. Let's put it that way.
Benjin just looks confused. He kind of gets what he's saying, but he kind of doesn't.
Hears the words, but doesn't understand the meaning.
Yeah. He's like,
no
how
drink.
can, no drink? Yeah, exactly. So you like to drink, and now you don't. He's actually too confused to take the conversation any further.
I'm going to
He's
excuse
gonna
myself
sort of process it.
Just in case.
He's just going to process it and take a swig and let it go for now. No.
Okay, so what were you doing, Xanhorn?
I was off to try and find more stories of Xanhorn and castles in the sky.
Okay, another persuasion check, please.
Oh yes, except
Except you haven't got advantage. It's 19.
just the 19 then.
So yeah, you hear plenty of stories about Xanhorn. Most of them are quite exaggerated by the sounds of it and all. He was part of an adventuring crew about 30, 40 years ago, perhaps. He's renowned for being a giant slayer and carried a massive giant slaying sword called Hotun's Bane. Can't find much information about his son. Just somebody says they think they knew his son was a bit of a gambler, but that's all they really know.
Okay. What does he say the name of the sword was?
Hotun's Bane, spelled with a J.
Hotun's Jane.
Jotun's Bane.
Jotun's Bane.
Okay, interesting.
Other than that, they say, he lives alone, overlooking the Evermoors and the Moonwood, and keeps a watch.
Sounds
He's a paladin, isn't he, Xanhorn? Or is he just an adventurer?
You don't know at this point. You know his adventurer, but you don't know kind of what his proficiency within.
Okay. And do we is there any way that I can find out? Is there like a hall of records or something like that that would have like the name of every member of the Order of the Iron Gauntlet? Sorry.
And if there is, why isn't Cenza in there?
Such a thing exists. Such a thing would exist, but it's not going to be here.
Okay.
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 So, following day, early in the morning, you are presented with your hippogriff mounts. 2 mounts between the 4 of you. So 2 of you can ride on each. And you are promised to take good care of them when you do.
So I say to Xanhorn, we'll take one of them, and the other 2 can take the other one.
I'm afraid.
Don't think that's how it works.
We weren't there, so I don't know that yet.
Xanhorn looks genuinely nervous about being on the same hippogriff as Benjin.
Xanhorn, you're with me. Benjin, you're with Cenza.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm glad you agreed.
He's with me, yeah?
Yes. Cenza and Benjin on one. Horsey B, and Xanhorn and I on the other. Horsey 1.
Right.
Number 1 and number B. Gotcha. Do these hippogriffs have names, by the way?
Yes, surely they must do.
They do. They say that they have names in the stables here, but it's better if you name them yourselves. Form a better bond of your mount.
Okay.
Are there any distinctive characteristics about Havarl and Xanhorn's mount?
One's got the eagle kind of sides of it are roughly the same, but one is a grey horse and one is a brown horse.
Xanhorn, I think we should name ours Xanvarl.
That is a mighty name indeed. Xanhorn's pleased that it was that way round.
Otherwise, it would be Havarl, and that's just wrong.
It is. It is the night for it.
Oh, come on, ours will either be Senjin or Benza.
You can work out your own pattern, but we're going to go with Xanvarl.
Xanvarl the hippogriff.
Sounds like an antidepressant tablet.
The hippogriff. I'm writing it down. So, I'm mounted, waiting for those 2 to get ready.
Right, you need to plan your journey, gents.
Have we got any rabbits left?
No, they would have all been eaten.
So all we've got is a giant's head. We can try and feed it if the worst comes to the worst.
That's bloody expensive food.
It's assumed to be given some rations to feed them, but they do say one part of your training is that if you in a reasonably kind of out wilderness area, the hippogriffs are given enough time, they will find their own food.
Oh, okay.
Well, gentlemen, I suggest we. This sword isn't going anywhere. Fergalas, however, is in trouble. I suggest we head straight for Fergalas.
An excellent
Do we not
idea,
need the sword to save Fergalas?
For once, I agree with Benjin.
Is he not being held by giants?
Well, yes, but we've managed to kill giants before without a magical sword.
Yeah, but we've killed a couple of giants on their own, or we've distracted them while there's been a battle going on. This is going up against a castle, their stronghold, a fortified place full of giants.
Okay. How about we meet in the middle ground?
Also, Xanhorn is on the way. It is kind of the middle ground. Depending on
where are we
castle
going?
is.
Where's he being kept? I can't remember.
Well,
It's in the flying castle.
Somewhere in
above
the
the
Evermoors.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have pretty much got to go there anyway.
Also,
Okay.
we want to be fresh to do that. If it's, what, a couple 100 miles? How far is it?
112 miles.
Do we know how fast the hippogriffs fly?
54 miles a day.
So it's a couple of days' travel just to get to...
Xanhorn, yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, at least another day to roughly the centre of the Evermoors.
So it makes sense to get to Xanhorn, have a break, pick up a sword, do some side quests to get the sword because they're not just going to give it to us. Just thinking out loud. I mean, we are an impressive band, and no doubt he'll have heard of us, of course.
No doubt. Okay, fine. But if Xanhorn needs any more than a day for us to go and do whatever he needs us to do, wants us to do for this sword, then I say that we go rescue Fergalas.
Agreed.
He's been tortured for days now. We've wasted so much time transporting a metal ring. Fergalas is our main priority. I mean,
Agreed.
Let's go to see Xanhorn. Okay. We'll do that. Can we go above the cloud line just to get an idea of where the castle is, though, on our way?
Yes, you can certainly try.
Let's head towards Xanhorn's Hall, and then as we approach it, pop up above the cloud lines as suggested, work out where the castle is, so we don't lose track of it.
It's a plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
By the way, I've decided to name our hippogriff Shoreblood.
Right.
Shoreblood.
Yeah.
Not going to argue with that. Name blood in there works for me. For
Thought it would.
Benjin. Yep.
I mean, it's no Boris, but...
Or Havarl.
Cool. Let us ride. I mean, fly. Was it fly or ride?
Both.
Let us fried.
What if I started?
Something that Xanhorn's going to have difficulty putting down.
Right, Benjin, what is your eyesight ability thing?
Right. You want me to read it out?
Yeah, because you can see further than anyone else, so I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to know what your
By literally a country mile.
Yeah. You gain the eyesight of an eagle. You can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty. Able to discern even fine details as though looking at something no more than 100 feet away from you. Additionally, dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your wisdom perception checks.
Okay.
So I can see that, but it doesn't necessarily mean I perceive stuff. So I still think I have to perceive things, but then assuming I do,
okay.
that's the way I've interpreted it.
Right.
So you can't actually see any, you can't actually see a greater distance than us, but what you do see is at a greater detail. Because I can see something that's a mile away that I just wouldn't be able to tell it what it is.
Yeah, it's like you saying, is that a car over there in the distance? And Benjin going, it's a 49 reg car.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can, literally, as Steve says, just read something off the side of something that's a long way away, as long as I've seen it.
Looks a bit like a cloud castle. There are 3 giants on the top. There's... Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you make... so you're heading westward towards Xanhorn Hall, and you make sporadic kind of high altitude kind of swings to see if you can see anything over the Evermoors. You can't see anything at the distance you could see now. I've just Googled it. Apparently the human eye can see about 30 miles on a clear day. Seems to be the answer.
Okay.
So you're basically looking on if everything is completely clear, you're basically looking 2 hexes away.
Wow. Okay.
So if you're traveling, So if you're travelling kind of along here, you're not going to see anything that's smack bang in the middle of the Evermoors. It's going to take you 2 days travel. Due to Benjin's wandering ability, you don't need to get any food during that time. And it's easy to pick up the contours of the land. You can see Silvery Moon to the south. You can see Moonwood to the north. So it's not far before you grab on the road between... You can make out the road between Silvery Moon and Xanhorn Hall and make your way to there. Xanhorn Hall itself... So about evening time of the second day of travel, taking the camping in a hillside just the southeast of the Hawks Hills, you come across a lonely keep on a hillside overlooking both the road and the Evermoors.
What time of day do we arrive, Steve?
It's 2 days travel, basically. Even at 50 odd miles, it's about 100 and something miles. So if you're flying direct, it's going to be end of the day. Okay. So you're going to leave in the first thing in the morning, and you get to Xanhorn Hall basically at dusk.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to make the final approach on land, I guess.
This is your captain speaking.
I'm imagining myself more like Brian Blessed.
Dive!
Yeah.
And that's why you're not riding one.
Or steering it, rather.
Or steering it. Is steering the right word?
So, Xanhorn Hall is a heavy stone keep with a road that winds up the hillside to the main gatehouse at the front. Even from this distance, Benjin points out it's got some wooden kind of statues above the gatehouse of wolves, and like a baying formation. But there's no signs of any guards or any other kind of traffic even approaching the keep.
Okay.
Is there any sign of travel on the road that we're taking this path?
Not much, actually. It seems you haven't seen much on the roads at all around here.
Well, I say there's no sign of like fresh tracks or anything like that on this path. If there's only one way into this keep.
Yes, there's definitely only one. Well, for you guys, you're on flying mounts, you can just fly in. But yeah, if you're on foot, there's definitely one way in.
And there's no signs of recent travel on that path. Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I think we should make our way up this path respectfully on land and knock at the gatehouse, I suppose.
All right.
Direct approach always works.
Yeah, and when we're just outside, just in cases, do we get any sense that there's anything wrong with the place?
It's just very, very quiet. You would have expected to see guards on the walls. You would have expected to see...
I suppose we were told he was lonely, so that would imply that there aren't many or other...
Yeah, from the outside, you can see some lights, because I said the sun's falling. You can see some light from inside.
So
but it's only one or two. There's some signs of light, but if only one or two rooms lit, and I said you would expect to see guards in the battlement. You'd expect to see people working out in the gatehouse, kind of like blacksmiths and people milling around. But it's outside the gatehouse is completely dead.
Okay.
Xanhorn will reach into his bag to try and find the gong to kind of rouse some attention. Like, that's weird. I'm sure. Xanhorn will look at Havarl like, where did the gong go? We had it in that tavern, right?
I think you took it with you when you drank the magic drink.
Yeah. Maybe I left it behind with the wizard. Weird.
Let's just knock, shall we?
Is there anything to knock on, or is it just gates?
Yeah, there's a big like door knocker.
Is the gate actually fastened, or is it just shut?
It's shut and appears to be fastened at this point.
Okay.
Let's knock.
Let's knock then. Or
so
signal the best we can.
you can just about make out the sound of some shuffling from behind the gatehouse, and a little eyelet thing opens. Hello?
Hello there, friend. I am Havarl Mashinin, Sir Havarl Mashinin of the Order of the Iron Gauntlet. I come to beseech your lord here.
Very well. It kind of looks at you. Shuts the
Benjin,
thing.
stop picking your nose.
And it opens the main gatehouse. The guy in front of you has the kind of like mud-stained knees you'd expect of someone who works the gardens.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah, if you'd like to just make your way up to the main house, just follow the torchlight.
Can we leave our mounts in your care? Is there a stables where you'll be able to house them?
Oh yes, I'll just go get the boy. Hopefully he can deal with them. Oh, thank you very. Okay, yeah, no worries.
If you do need any help, then these are fierce beasts, or mounts rather. We can settle them ourselves if you're worried.
No, it's quite all right. The boy's going to learn.
It takes weeks of training, intensive training, Xanhorn will say, and reach into his bag and say, if they give you any trouble, just give them some of these, and he'll hand over some of the spare rabbits.
There weren't any spare. I asked beforehand.
Okay.
You would have picked some up on the stops as we've been stopping off on the way here, surely.
That seems like a reasonable retcon.
All right. Fair enough.
So he leads you into the keep, and the keep actually he opens the doors, and there's some torchlight leading you vaguely through, but the whole place seems like almost empty. And there's some vague music you can hear coming from down the corridor. The only really thing there is there's some swords on the walls and suits of armor and tapestries and rugs and what have you, but you don't see anyone until following the noise of the music and the faint light, you come into what is obviously the banquet hall, and there's one person gently playing a lute at one end of the table, and at the other end of the table is this kind of man in his 70s, picking away at a meal in front of you. And as you walk in, the lute playing stops, and they both turn to look at you.
Oh, don't stop on our account. That was... What does Xanhorn think of it?
It was all right. It was quite relaxing, should we say. Well played, but relaxing. Not the rousing stuff that Xanhorn usually plays.
That was very melodic, as one bard to another.
So, Havarl is going to bow and then call them Lord Zamorvan. We are the champions of chance.
Xanhorn will do his bow thing.
And I've naturally paused for you to do that. My name is Havarl Mashinin, Order of the Iron Gauntlet. We've travelled far to beseech you, your hospitality and your wisdom. Will you take us in, sir?
Of course. Go on, sit down.
We oblige, of course.
He pulls a little bell and rings a bell. Another person kind of comes out from somewhere, middle-aged woman. What can I do you for me, lord? Get some food and some drink for these people, please.
You're very
of course,
kind.
lord.
Thank you, my lord.
Everyone knows there's always a seat at the table of the Zamorvan Hall for anyone who needs it. Stabling, room for the night.
It's so good to hear that we have travelled far and wide, and we are rarely received so well. Thank you, my lord.
Not a problem.
Lord Aravos Kavalos sends his regards. He bid us say hello to you.
How is that young whippersnapper?
He was very accommodating. We've travelled from Hawk's Nest.
Oh.
Our hippogriffs are in your stables now, hopefully, not mauling the boy. And
he's got to learn. he's a capable stable hand. He'll be fine.
In fact, we travelled further than that because originally we found an old colleague of yours. We think Ergalar.
How is the little minx?
Xanhorn will involuntarily raise an eyebrow at that. She's very well.
Good.
She said to give her regards to you.
Yes. Where was she now? I haven't seen her in decades.
That is an excellent question.
Well, it was tribal, was it?
Tribal, I
Yes,
think.
yeah.
She's not running that tavern she always said she was going to run, did she?
She is indeed.
Yes. A fine tavern it is too.
Yes. I wouldn't want to mess with her in the middle of a bar fight. I can tell you that now. Before you know it, you'll have a morning star on the back of the head. And one hell of a hangover.
She did seem
We
pretty
did wonder
self-assured.
why there was a morning star behind the bar, actually.
Yes. Yes.
As you may have gathered, my lord, the four of us are somewhat following in your footsteps, shall we say? Adventurers.
Always good to hear. Fighting the good fight, I hope.
Absolutely.
Keeping the good people of Sword Coast safe in their beds at night.
All part of the Champions of Chance retinue.
Of course.
And on that note, and speaking of weapons, we were led to believe that you might be in possession of a certain giant-slaying greatsword. We have a mission by which we need to rescue a friend of ours from the clutches of some pretty nasty giants. And we were hoping that we might be able to at least borrow the sword in our defence of the Sword Coast.
This is not a question we need to answer. I'm sure this sword that you've come by is very precious to you. We don't come to your house, take your food and your drink and stables, and then take your weapons as well.
If Ykril sent you, then you are worthy of carrying the sword. I sigh because unfortunately I do not have this item anymore. Yes, I can see you are disappointed. You've obviously travelled very far to get here.
Pray tell, where would we find it?
My son
Have you heard of Tribor? Your son?
My son.
He took the sword?
That is quite unfortunate.
Yes, my son unfortunately stole the sword after I disowned him.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that was the case.
Is he likely to be around here?
I doubt it. He's probably shacked up with that tart. I mean, sorry. He's probably with. The last I heard, he'd married the young lady, and so I believe he's probably residing in Yartar with her.
Do you know the name of this young lady?
No, I don't. I didn't speak to her. All I know, sorry, I shouldn't be darkening your day with this. She was a thief, member of the Yatar Thieves Guild. Such a disgrace for a lord's son to be marrying such a not only a commoner but a thief and a villain as well.
Well,
fucking Yatar.
Yatar.
If only we'd taken that side quest.
Which happens to be next to Tribal.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not lost to me.
Yeah. My lord, could you maybe describe this young woman for us?
I can't say I met her.
Okay.
So unfortunately I can't describe her.
What's your son's name?
Okay. He looks Havarl straight in the eye. His name is Havarl Samorvan.
How interesting. That's not a name you hear too often.
No. By the way, guys, I am not making this shit up. That is a name in the book.
Really?
Yes.
What are the
Spelled slightly
chances?
differently, but it's still Havarl.
That's brilliant.
That is goosebumps.
Xanhorn looked sideways at Havarl and then looked back at Lord Zamorvan like, no.
Do they have the pole in Sword Coast?
I can assure you, my friends, that if I was this man's son, probably no. We just share a name. It's not that unusual. I'm sure if we go into a big city, we'll meet lots of Havarls. Probably. Right.
But you wish you were called Havarl now.
Awkward.
My lord, if you don't mind my inquiring, why did you feel it necessary to disown your son?
Because of who was married. A member of the Thieves Guild. My
How
lord.
did he end up with such a lot?
Oh, I don't know.
Leagues away.
It's not that far away. I heard he liked gambling and well, probably fell in with her in there. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Well, my lord, before we go any further, allow me to introduce my master musician and bard. Let him regale us with a story and a merry tune to lift our weary hearts of all this discussion. And then perhaps we should retire for the evening.
I do enjoy a good song.
Xanhorn will start spinning the one about the fire giants again and how he deftly swatted that boulder away.
Every time you perform this, Cenza is writing down the lyrics and just highlighting all the inaccuracies.
I imagine every time it gets less accurate as well.
Yeah.
Have you got a name for the song yet, John? Are you going to name your songs?
Not on the spot, but give me a minute.
Okay. I don't think we should kind of push this man too far tonight. If he's being kind enough, I think we've got enough to go on. Is this kind of a side conversation to the? I don't think we need to kind of push it any further. What do you reckon, guys?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so our plan doesn't change. We're here next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Benji's like, I can take them all on. It's all right. It's fine. I'll deal with them. Sword or no sword.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and where there's a chance, there'll be champions.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Other heroic sayings are available.
Right then. So, you sleep a good night's rest in Zamorvan Hall. It takes a bit of getting used to because it's so high up, it's rather windy, and the wind does rattle past the windows a bit, but you soon fall asleep because you have a nice comfortable bed, and you're given a good hearty breakfast in the morning, although Lord Zamorvan is not available first thing. When you're about to head off, he comes to greet you and wish you good luck on your quest. And says, come.
So is there any indication that he is unwell?
No,
he wasn't joining us at first.
No, he just seems to. He doesn't seem to be unwell. He's a little bit old, but he seems to be quite sprightly for his age.
Okay, as you were saying, sorry, Steve.
So yes, he greets you good luck on your quest and says, "I hope you find the sword and put it to good use, as it should be. It shouldn't hang on a wall. That's the finest giant slaying sword on the Sword Coast. It needs to be put to good use. And if these tales of giants are correct, then it should be in your hands."
Thank you, my lord. I will.
Rest assured that our friend Benjin will put it to great use. There are few who wield a sword like he does.
I think we actually have some other business in Yartar, so next time we shall ask some questions and see if we can.
Very well. Good luck.
I feel we'll need it.
So, let's get to Xanhorn,
A mighty name.
the mighty name, mighty steed.
Okay, so what are you doing then, chaps?
I imagine
Right.
flying
Up and away.
and then
Into the
having a
middle
look.
of the Evermoors.
Well, if we do, you want to? Are we going to go? Essentially, we're going to circumnavigate the Evermore, or do you guys want to cut across the Evermoors, heading towards Yarta?
Head across it, I think.
That way we kind of.
We've been around 2/3 of it now,
Yeah.
and we haven't
But we
seen
wouldn't
it.
have seen it necessarily. But then, as Lord Calvados, whatever his name is,
Calvados.
Calvados. My writing's not very clear.
Cavalos, it was.
That's what I've got. Cavalos. Cavalos, right. As Cavalos said, you can see it better above the cloud line. For most of the journey, we were on the road, so we wouldn't have seen it. So I'm saying, if we go directly over over the Evermoors, dipping up and down,
Yeah.
we've got more chance. Or we've got to go around it, and that's just going to take us almost as long.
Xanhorn was in favour of going straight across the middle, just to be clear.
Right.
Dipping
cool.
in and out sounds good.
Right. And if we happen to get to Yarta, you guys want to pursue this sword?
The Thieves Guild of Yartar seem to be coming up quite regularly.
The Hand of Yartar, they're called.
When did they come up before? I don't recall hearing the name.
The Stroppy Harper at the teleport centre dropped several rather unsubtle hints that they needed dealing with.
Yeah.
That'd be why I don't remember.
Nobles behaving badly. That's something that needs dealing with. Also, sword.
Okay. Let's do that then. To Yarta via a flying castle, over the Evermoors we go.
Indeed.
Okay. Are you guys able to grab the token?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know which. So basically, you can do.
No.
Okay.
No, I found.
You can do 54 miles in a day. 1, 2, 3. So that's you can do 4 hexes in a day. So if you can, one of you can choose which direction you're going. Now, one of you, I want you to be navigator, basically, because you are traveling over an area which you don't know, and there's no landmarks which you're going to recognize. So you are basically trying to navigate. Now, Benjin's ability might come in here, so you might need to double check his wanderer background. But it's not like, so far you've basically been traveling along roads, so you can't get lost. Now you're going flying over an area which you've never been before and has no natural landmarks that you know of.
Shall we head this way, guys, and then cut across it?
Yeah, could do.
Here, then 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. As I say, essentially a second stop.
So 4 puts us there.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then
we've
to
been
maybe
around
there.
the south end, so I would say maybe go then 1, 2, 3, 4 to there-ish, perhaps.
So you're basically going that way and then that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, do we need to count that far? 1, 2, 3.
Well, let's see where we get to after that. Because we should have found it by then, right? So
unless it's up here.
Okay.
So the Outlander Wanderer.
Do we want to split up?
No.
We've got that sending, so we can at least communicate with it.
No.
I can communicate with someone else. Oh, and we've got the scroll, haven't we?
Yeah.
Xanhorn just looks at Benjin and says, no, we shouldn't split up.
Look, Benjin's going to be on the
No.
back of a hippogriff. He can't control it. So if you see it, you land, call the other team over.
Also, bear in mind, I've got the augury spell, so I can kind of cast a spell at the start of every morning. Is it a good idea for us to head south today to find the castle, or for us to head southwest, for example?
Xanhorn just looks at Cenza like, why didn't you say that before?
Because I've forgotten about it. Because clerics get an awful lot of spells.
There's not. What do you reckon the chances are of any adamantite being on this castle?
I was just thinking that, but I didn't think the range was very far.
It's something ridiculous, isn't it? Like 30 miles?
Oh, was it?
I thought it was a pretty.
Yeah, to detect adamantine.
10 miles for adamantine.
Oh, 10 miles.
That's almost as far as we can. That doesn't really make a difference, does it? Then
probably not.
We'd see it before then. How far is one hex?
24 miles a day, isn't it? So they're 12 miles a hex.
Okay, so we can see one hex either side.
14 miles a hex is basically what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so Cenza, are you casting augury then?
I am. I'm just looking it up for.
Same here.
Yeah. I'm casting it as which just is going to take an extra 10 minutes.
We've got 10 minutes.
Okay, so I spent some time chucking out the carved bones I've got. I'm trying to focus on, is it a good idea for us to head directly south to find the giant castle?
Wheel.
So that's good results. So we should be heading south today, guys.
Okay.
I like that. I have to say weird words.
Yeah.
I have a wheel or woe. Which I think woe should be whoa.
It is now. It's canon.
Okay, so who is actually navigating them?
Is that a skill check of some sort?
Well, it's going to be, but what does Benjin's Wanderer stuff do?
So the Wanderer says, right, you have an excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food, fresh water, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't necessarily say I always know which way is north or south. It just says that
I mean, you know where you're going if you've been there before. You've had a map kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Has Cenza got a map amongst his?
No one has got a map.
Don't believe so. No.
But it does say and other features around you, but it does say more of memory rather than.
Yeah, you won't have a map of the Evermoors because the Evermoors is kind of a Evermore on the map, and that's basically all it says.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, so just bear with me a brief moment.
Bear with.
I'll take this moment to check on the little one in the other room.
Okay.
I'm just seeing if there's anything else that helps.
Come on, PDF load.
Yes, I'll just take an opportunity to pop up.
My son has turned into a rather large German Shepherd.
Fair enough.
You sure that's not Patches?
Oh, might be.
I don't think German Shepherd was on that list, was it?
Doesn't ring a bell. It's not come up yet, anyway.
Direwolf. I've had a direwolf.
True.
Whoever is navigating, can they make a survival check, please?
Shall I just do it?
I would think.
Hang on.
I would think it would be Benjin.
Benjin. Okay, let's leave it to Benjin.
Okay.
I think Benjin should do it as well, yeah.
So you make your way south, or at least the direction Benjin tells you is south, over the Evermoors. Most of the Evermoors itself you cannot see as you're travelling over it. It's shrouded in mist, and then when it's not shrouded in mist, what you can see is kind of like nondescript moors, hills. You see the odd kind of decrepit, collapsed tower or building every so often, and you skirt around the edges of a giant lake. What you do notice, though, is when you do go above the cloud level, you can make out in the distance what appears to be a structure in the sky.
Hello.
It's
That way.
the end of the day when you find it, and it is around about here.
Oh, it's
Over
right
lake.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gesture
It's enough about Xanhorn.
to the guys that it's over that way, and sort of point in the rough direction.
Is there
Okay.
somewhere clear
What
that we
can I
see below us in
Yeah.
which we could land, and do we get any? Does Benjin get a reasonable look at it as we're heading down?
You
Yeah,
are
that's what I was
still
about to say.
along. It's still very far in the distance. So at this point, it's probably a good 25 miles away from you at this point. So your Benjin's hawk vision is not enough to discern any detail from this distance.
Have we still got flying time? We've spotted it. That we can make
you've
there
spotted it
by-
about. You spotted it about. Where's my pen gone? You spotted it about here-ish.
Okay,
So yes, you could change course and get there by the end of the day. So you are
we're
here.
gonna get there at night.
You're here at this point.
Well, if we did try and infiltrate this fortress, night would be a better time to do so.
That's a reasonable point.
That's fair.
They wouldn't see us coming. If we or we attack first thing in the morning, attack with the sun behind us, or
Do we remember, or does Cenza remember from looking over the Cloud Castle book, whether there are any known sort of entry points or ways in that we could sneak in?
He's moving.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just thinking.
Because we found that book on Cloud Castle mechanics,
We did.
which Cenza had had a look at, and then we handed over.
Make an intelligence check, Cenza, then.
Just straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence.
Oh,
Okay, so you can remember in this book there were some notes upon architecture, but generally most of the cloud castles were built with a solid base, like a cloud formation, and built like a traditional tower or building on top of that.
So we can't go up and in there.
In traditional design, no. However, of course, every giant swim is different, and so every design will be different.
Fair enough. Well, as we're flying, Xanhorn will try and message across. Yeah, that is the right character. To say, maybe it'd be best if we came from underneath, and if Benjin can keep an eye out for where might be best to approach from. If you keep your eyes peeled, Benjin. You're muted, Ben.
Right, we're going to fly within a mile of it, then, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flying down into the clouds and then trying to come up from below to try and, if we can peek out from time to time.
So what is it you're doing then? So you've spotted this thing about another half day's travel away.
Yeah.
What are you doing at this point?
do you think it's worth trying to land at some point and using the rods of Avoning Dods to try and see if there's any adamantine?
Well, Steve said it was probably like, how big are the hexes?
25 miles a hex. So actually, you're probably
14 miles a hex, isn't it?
14 miles a hex. Sorry, yes.
Either way, if,
So
if we're landing on the edge of the lake, because presumably hippogriffs don't swim well, and I'm not sure I'd want to try and use that phoning dod thing on the water.
No. I was thinking just trying to get where you're Pythagoras and all that.
Maybe it would find adamantine, but I'm not sure that would necessarily tell us anything.
Okay.
I think we try and do some reconnaissance in the first.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
And because I think it's wise that we're not spotted, I think this still works.
For the duration, concentration up to 1 hour. Okay.
So when we're ducking out, the first time we duck out to take a look, and when we think that we're about in range, try and do that.
So what exactly is it you're doing then? So you've cast Pass Without Trace.
Yeah, so when we get within about a mile or so,
About a mile of the castle.
yeah, we'll travel in the clouds up until that point as much as we can, and then cast that, pop out, and try and do a reconnaissance run to try and see what we can see.
Okay.
Using Benjin's.
Make. Right. Can you both make a stealth check? But you can use the hippogriff's stealth. So it's, well, in fact, it's a stealth check with the animal handling skill. This is a bit weird.
Yeah.
How?
Because what you're trying to do is what I'm going to have to do is we have to do this a bit manually, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So stealth is dexterity, but if you've got animal handling ticked, you can get your proficiency bonus, which is +3.
I do not have it ticked. Should it be
I
the
do
fly?
not have it ticked.
Should it be the riders that are doing this?
All of you, because you're all trying to keep your head low and what have you. So it's a group check,
So I'm just doing a straight dexterity check then.
straight dexterity check, and you will get your Pass Without Trace bonus, of course.
Just as well.
Oh,
So is it? We just got to click on dexterity.
Yeah, mine
Unless you've
doesn't
got-
seem to be coming through.
Unless you've got animal
click
handling.
on the
No.
word dexterity.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I have. It's just have you and John both rolled?
I have.
I have.
Yeah, that's not come. Oh, but now there we go.
There it is.
I hate dexterity checks.
That's all right. You got 26 on it.
I did get 26. Thank you, John. Xanhorn.
What have we got? 20. Yeah.
Xanhorn
So
passed without
right,
trace, which added
What have
10
you
to
actually
add.
got? So what
Ah.
are your actual numbers?
I got 7,
No. What are your results?
17.
Right.
26.
29.
26.
Okay. Xanhorn, you're rubbish.
I was concentrating on giving everyone a chance to hide.
Okay, so using the glow cloud as cover, you manage to approach the tower, the castle, as close as possible. It's as you get closer to it, you can actually hear the sounds of someone or something crying out in pain, just kind of like wisping along the breeze as you get closer and closer.
Are they the same ones I've been getting in response to my messages to Valgalos?
They do sound very, very similar, yes.
Do we see any? Does Benjin see any?
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Standing by.
Okay. Right, this might not work. Let's just hope this works. Oh, no, wrong one. Right, hopefully this bloody thing loads. Oh, fuck.
It's all going well.
Trying to do 3 things at once. Okay, can you
Whoa.
see the picture of the castle in the clouds?
Yes.
Yes.
Almost.
It won't let me zoom in or out.
No, all I can see is like, oh yeah, I can see it if I move around. You're right.
I can't
It's-
actually zoom out.
It's too. It's
Oh,
too.
it's got a chess set.
A chess set.
Chess set in the garden.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It might be a better thing if I bear with me.
No,
a
I can see that
brief
now.
Second. You can all see it, okay?
Yeah.
That's all right then. It's probably a bit too big. Roll20 is struggling a little bit with it. It's a little bit bigger than what I Roll20 can cope with, unfortunately. So yes, that is what you can see, and as I said, you can hear. That's the details Benjin can make out, and as I said, you can hear the sounds of screams coming from.
Xanhorn will message Cenza and at the same time say loud enough that Havarl can hear him. Do either of you remember anything that Fel was wearing? An object that he would have on his person?
Well, he's a dragon. When we dealt with him in his halfling form, he was polymorphed. And the way I understand it, when you change form, any belongings merge. So what he's wearing now may not be currently, here.
That's true, but if there's a chance that we can find him and narrow down his location, that's got to help, right?
All I remember about him
Indeed.
is his smile, to be honest.
Are you thinking he's not in his dragon form?
Well, he is inside a castle, so
A giant castle, though.
yeah.
Would have thought they might have had room for a.
My idea might not work, but I'm just thinking it's worth a shot.
Also,
right?
has Benjin looked at the glass house yet? Cuckoo, metagaming pigeon cuckoo.
I could, yeah.
That's a
why?
gaming pigeon.
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you not heard of the metagaming pigeon?
yeah.
Hey, I'm only just new to this, and I've heard of the metagaming pigeon. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, what? Ben is being slow, actually.
No. Zoom in on the glass house.
Zoom in. Okay.
Yeah. Is that not a bronze dragon in there?
What?
I can't see anything in the glass house.
I can't see anything in the glass house.
Am I going mad?
Yes.
Entirely possible.
See what you want to see. Does Benjin see Felglass in the glass house? Good question.
good
says
question.
Steve.
Yeah, no, I can't see anything there. It just looks like a glass house with a green floor in it.
Doesn't look green to me. Looks like it's got a dragon curled up inside it.
Benjin can make out several flowering plants and herbs.
Okay then. Where do we think we should land then?
Does Xanhorn remember what clothes Felglass was wearing, or whether I don't remember him having any jewellery on, but I don't think we asked the question.
No,
He would have had his
you-
musical instrument. He would have had. He was playing a lute, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, because you had the bard offer with him.
No,
that
that was the
wasn't
bard.
him.
He ended up getting killed.
That's the one I
Did
went
he?
adventuring in the fields with. That wasn't Fel.
Was it not? Okay.
Fel was hunting stuff, wasn't he, when we first met him? Or something?
I'm thinking of a little pisshead halfling, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I didn't make any notes on it. Or if I did, they're on some other piece of paper somewhere.
No, I can't recall. Can we work out where these noises of pain are coming from?
You'd have to kind of circle the castle to try and work it out.
And can we see any sentries or guards at all? From,
Yes, you can. You're trying to keep low, so your visibility is limited because you're trying to keep to the clouds yourself.
So
You
we're
can
more
actually-
sort of below this castle, are
You're
we?
below this castle, yeah. So, and you can also see sticking out of the parapets in several places. These are spyglasses.
Mhm.
So they're
Ooh, this might come in
telescopes.
handy.
This is completely new to me. This metagaming
I've not heard of it,
pigeon.
yeah.
Roll 20, that's where I heard it.
It was on Critical Role, I think.
Sorry, that's what I
okay.
meant, critical roll.
What the hell is it? Go on, enlighten the three of us.
But basically, when the players want to metagame a little bit, they've been using the metagame pigeon to fly in.
So you just go coo, coo, and then say under your breath sort of what it is you're... Yeah.
Coo, coo, don't use fire damage against the fire giants. Coo.
Why pick that as that example?
First one I could think of.
Right, so what you can see, or Benjin can see, sorry, because he's the one who can see it, the detail at this distance. He can see on this area here, wrong thing,
Oh, I've got to zoom back out.
on this area here, there's this parapet.
Oh, yeah.
You can see two cloud giants patrolling.
Okay.
And standing in these gardens, so here and here, you can see what can best be described as like eagle men, all standing to attention with a spear. So they're like a human size, but they've got a head of an eagle and two giant wings.
Okay.
So a bit like Stargate, when they go to like the pyramid.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
How far do you think we can throw Patch?
By the way, as well, this area that you can see here are quite large doors, like two large entryways. These here,
Oh, okay. And they're
are
quite
very large
low, so you
entries.
could almost get in there.
Low and large, like large enough that you could fly one of the hippogriffs in at full wingspan, kind of large.
Okay.
Okay. All right then.
Sneak in through the stables? Seems like a reasonable idea.
No,
No?
no. we want to block those doors. We want to stop anything getting out.
That's
if we
that's
can-
another good plan. Xanhorn says slightly uncertainly.
What have we got that we could use to bar that way? If we don't have anything, then yeah, sure, let's go in. But if we can stop anything getting out, Cenza?
I'll message
I
across.
don't think I have anything that would help, unfortunately.
Okay.
Could we leave the fire giant's head in the doorway just to shit them up a bit if they decide to come out of there?
Xanhorn just messages him and says no.
Is that just a preemptive no?
Let's say yes.
How do you guys feel about flying up towards this area here, around
area?
about and then about 30? Sorry, around here, but keeping well below the parapet, and then lobbing 3 magic balls of patch up there
As a distraction.
as a distraction
To the eagle man.
to the eagle men or man there. If we could get unlucky, but
Yeah. Do we get any idea how many eagle men are on that particular garden?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
really wish I had flipping El Coquin's slippers.
Boom.
27. I'm closer.
Oh,
Okay, so what you can see is this is a lush green lawn, dotted with trees and rocks. When I say lush, it's lush, as in you reckon this is probably about 2 feet deep. This grass, it's quite high. There is, as Cenza has pointed out, there is a chessboard there, giant chessboard made out of marble by the looks of it, and human-sized chess pieces.
Wow.
On closer inspection, you can see there aren't any of these eagle people on this side.
There aren't.
There are not.
Right.
However, you think you can see a giant inside the greenhouse tending to the plants.
Okay.
do we get a sense as we're flying around this, looking at it, where the screams are coming from? Like high up or low down?
Make a perception check, Mr. Xanhorn.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh,
The noise is just reverberating around. It's impossible to work out exactly where the noise is coming from.
Okay.
I could always try asking him.
Whoa.
That's a great idea.
Can I use my
Yeah.
can I use my divine sense, which should allow me to detect evil, but also those people that are good will ring like a harmonious bell to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So what does that cost to do?
Oh no, that's just one of my.
Did you just do
magic-
it?
That's just do it in it.
I'm just going to do it. Yeah. The presence of strong evil registers the senses. And powerful good rings like heavenly music in my ears. As an action, I can open my awareness to detect such forces until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
So
You know the type, Celestial Fiend Undead, of a being whose presence you sense, but not its identity.
no.
What's the distance?
I think we worked out last time this was about 30 foot.
It says 60
No,
feet.
60 foot.
60 feet.
60 feet, but it's not behind total cover.
Ah.
Location that's not behind total cover. Okay.
So anyone inside the castle will be behind total cover.
With the exception of the giant that's in the greenhouse.
Yes.
I imagine he's
And-
probably
and-
neither very good or very bad.
and the eagle men, if there are any around. But it would give me a sense of any creatures that are out in the open. I would either guess
Yes.
anything that's within 60 feet out in the open register as either good or bad to me.
Within 60 feet.
I thought we were like half a mile away from it.
Yeah. You are about a mile away at this point.
Okay.
You
When
get a
we get
strong
closer-
sense that 3 people around you are of questionable.
Yeah.
You're basically using Benjin's eyesight to see all this at this point.
Okay. Can you send a message to Falcalos? Falcalos, we're approaching the castle. Can you tell us whereabouts you are? You can reply to this message.
No, I won't tell you anything. I don't know. Why? Griffins? No!
Griffins. Griffins. He's in the stables.
I don't suppose there's any kind of like griffin gargoyles or anything like that on this building.
Not that Benjin can see, no.
And there's no kind of griffin insignia anywhere. They're not etched into any of the brickwork.
No.
Okay.
Is there anything that's obviously an eerie?
Not obviously, but this entrance here is big enough for it to be a griffin eyrie. As in, it will
Right.
allow griffins to fly in and out.
Xanhorn will
would
message across.
Say that's our best bet.
Yeah, Xanhorn will message
Yes.
across and say, "I can keep the stealth up as we get closer if we can travel within the clouds, and then I could major image another cloud that comes up to take us into the doorway to avoid us getting seen.
Solid idea.
Yep.
What are the chances that rabbits are going to work on griffins?
Everything eats.
How many rabbits we got in the bag?
Good question, Steve.
There's 2 rabbits left.
Fair enough.
Okay. Xanhorn, we'll go with your first plan that you came up with 10 minutes ago.
Xanhorn will mutter something that you can probably hear about. Never listen to me. Always have to come up with other ideas.
Right. Drawing my sword. Riding hippogriff one-handed.
Okay, so Xanhorn will keep the pass without trace up, assuming that there's still some left, until we get within, until we're just about to break cloud cover, basically, aiming to head straight through those doors.
Okay. Right, this is a monster map. It's a problem with playing a game against giants. All the maps are so huge because the scale. I can reveal. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Excellent. Part 1 has worked. Part 2 is to grab your character tokens. Right.
Those tokens are quite small.
Those cows are very far away. So,
First wave, dive!
Quiet, Benjin.
So you approach, you enter into the massive entrance of this this room. There's 2 archways coming through. There's a blip there. Patch of magical ball of fluff. And you can see 5 cages, very large cages in the room, each one locked and each one containing a griffin. The rest of the room is kind of messy and haphazard, and you can see there is a door to the north and there is a door to the northeast. From the other side of the door to the northeast, you can hear the screaming and pain of the creature you've been able to hear from the other side.
Okay.
As soon as you enter into the this area, this is obviously the aviary, as Benjin summarised. The griffins start getting agitated and start clawing at the cages.
Xanhorn will reach into the bag, tear rabbits in half enough, and tear the feet off them all. Chuck the feet towards one, and tear the halves to the other 4 cages.
I'm going to have a quick look. Is there any other source of food in this room, in this area?
There is some barrels inside to the side there. What's in them at the moment? Xanhorn, make an animal handling check.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so they get a bit more agitated when they see the rabbits, and you throw them to them, and the griffins very quickly just take like a mouthful of these rabbits, and they're silent for a brief moment.
Uh-oh.
And they what? And they what for a brief moment?
They're silent for a brief moment as they kind of go, oh, with these, and then start making a noise and squawking again.
Havarl, Oh, now would be a good time to find some more food.
Okay, I'm going to run over here and look for some food and see what's in the barrels. Quite haphazardly.
What's that thing?
What's what thing? Sorry.
That black hole.
I'm hesitant to guess.
Well, you've got to get rid of Griffin Dung somehow.
Right.
You know what we need right now? Havarl's undrunken glass of elven wine that we could have just put on the. We could have put them on the rabbits and sent the. Put them on the rabbits and sent the elves to send the griffins off.
I'm sure that wizard would have been really happy about five griffins appearing in his tower.
Yeah, you've just got a message. You're fired.
Yeah.
Surprised Xanhorn hasn't got that already, to be perfectly honest. Can Xanhorn, while Havarl's searching, can Xanhorn try and play some quiet but melodic sounds to try and soothe them a little bit?
Now, have you got a kind of spell that can do this, or is this just you trying to kind of sing a lullaby?
Just trying to sing a lullaby.
So you haven't got like a charm animal spell or anything like that, or charge beast?
No.
Haven't you got that wibbly hypnosis thing?
I've got a hypnotic pattern.
Yeah.
But that would only cover a 30-foot cube. And I don't know, actually. Yeah, maybe I don't know. What do you think, Steve? Would that get all of them?
30-foot cube? No chance, pal.
Yeah, it's a cube, not a radius, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 80 foot between cages.
Yeah.
You'd have to. I think you'd have to cast. I think a 30-foot cube is a 3x3 square on there. You'd have to cast it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
You've noticed, even over the ruckus of the griffins making a noise, the sounds of the screaming of the room have stopped.
Oh, good. He's probably going to be okay.
Hide. I'm going to hide.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Hide behind the barrels, I think.
Yes.
Okay, everyone make a stealth check, please. Oh, everyone who's hiding, make a stealth check. What are you doing, Benjin?
There it is.
Hello. When he's not concentrating on making everyone else stealthy.
Right, how long does your pass without trace last?
That went as soon as I cast.
That's gone, is it?
When I cast Major Image.
That went as soon as I rolled a 9.
It went as soon as I rolled a 1.
Right.
So,
it's 100 foot away.
Come on, work. Yes, there we go. The doors, these double doors open, and a female giant steps through. She's wearing, if she was human, she'd be wearing some extremely expensive clothes, like an extremely expensive gown, which is both like kind of fashionable, like practical. But across her face, she's wearing like like a theatrical mask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a bit like that. It's got this kind of sullen, sad face engraved into the front of it.
We saw some masks in the other giant castle we visited. Does this remind me of them?
Make an intelligence check. You remember hearing something about the giant god, the cloud giant god, and how the giants like to express their emotion through these masks. Basically, cloud giants are obsessed with masks.
Okay.
I'm going to use my divine sense now, Steve, to kind of see. Oh, she's still too bloody far away. Oh, never mind then. So who's hidden?
I think all of us were trying to.
All of you are trying to.
We don't know how successful.
We don't know how successful you were yet, because she walks in, and even for the mask, you can sound kind of go. I smell the blood of a small folk. So, what's your get? Xanhorn 24, Havarl 9, Benjin 16, Cenza 15. No, unfortunately.
No, Cenza 2.
Cenza 2. Oh, it's in Cenza 2. God, you forgot the bloody 2. Come out, small folk, she says, or be destroyed.
I'm here, giant.
She's less than 120 feet away, right?
Mm-hmm. Hasn't seen you.
No, she's seen all of you. She's spotted all of you.
All right, okay.
Can Xanhorn cast hypnotic pattern on her?
If you do, you're going to have to make an initiative roll first.
That seems like the sort of thing that he's going to do. It's like we've been busted. Our ruse is gone before this.
Yes, but let's not jump straight into a fight. She's asked us to come out. I've declared that we are here.
Xanhorn hears Havarl's voice in his head and thinks, I'll just hold, but he's readying it.
I'm casting my, looking over my shoulder. I'm just going to sternly look at him. Just wait. Here we are, giant. To whom am I speaking? My name is Havarl Mashinin.
Welcome, Havarl Mashinin. You are speaking, and you shall bow when you speak. To Countess Sanzori.
Ah, Countess, we have heard a lot about you. He'll do his normal.
Havarl being a respectful man, even though she is an enemy, if she is a countess, she is due a modicum of respect, so he shall do like a half bow. Countess Sanzori. We were passing nearby and we heard some noises of distress.
This is of no concern of yours.
Distress is always a concern.
Uh-oh, have we lost him? No, just a pause.
His voice has been going a little bit all day.
Has it?
Yeah.
Did you catch what I said, sorry?
Yes.
Can Xanhorn nudge his way through? He's got himself an idea. And say,
I think she said, before you had any chance going any further, she says, I'm sorry. You are my guests. This is the wrong place to receive guests. Please follow me. Starts making her way. Oh.
Whoa!
Oh, for God's sake, come on. Starts making her way to this door here.
Xanhorn stops open-mouthed, about to reel off a spiel about something, and okay. It's always nice to be welcomed, especially by one so famous as yourself.
So she leads you through.
It's going to be a room full of bad guys, isn't it?
Xanhorn, can you still transform into other people that are humanoid shape?
Yes.
Brilliant.
But it's going to be pretty obvious if I do that now.
Obviously now. I'm just saying, I just want to check whether you could or not. And does anybody have a plan?
We have a Benjin.
Is this what we're murmuring?
This is kind of the panicked looks that are going across.
Xanhorn's like, I've got this. We play them off against the fire giants. He'll murmur. He'll message in front.
Sorry, John. Do I recognise the symbol on the floor?
So she leads you into this very opulent room with these beautiful tiles on the floor, which shows everything. Shows murals of floating castles and giants chasing silver dragons, while the giants are riding giant rocks or riding in golden chariots, drawn by griffins. These things to the side here are like bleachers, like benches, all crafted out of fine marble. It's like a marble throne which she kind of sits on lazily. And either side of the throne, which these things here, are two massive golden statues of cloud giants.
Are they even bigger than cloud giants, or are they just cloud giant sized? They look bigger than
life-size statues, basically. Okay. So they're the same size as normal cloud giants.
Before we were led away, Steve, sorry, I sent and you didn't know this because I sent a psychic message, Rat Patch, to investigate, was through those double doors and find Fergalas, and when Fergalas was found, to come back to me.
Okay. Yes, through the double doors, Patch sees a
we forgot about
dragon
control patches.
I know.
Through the double doors, yes, it sees a dragon chained up, basically.
And it knows who Fergalas is, because obviously I've imparted, so it knows that it is actually Fergalas.
Okay.
Felgalas.
Cool. Felgalas, sorry.
Well, it knows there's a dragon in there. It won't know Felgalas because it won't know how to distinguish dragons from each other.
Good point. Okay, take that.
So as we arrive, I'll say, this is magnificent. This artwork is exquisite. However, we didn't come here to... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, your countess.
So no, that's me. That's me stopping you because I am a little bit behind on the prep on this one. So also...
Oh, crap.
4 of these kind of eagle people, but they seem to be, now you see them up close, they seem to be made out of sand.
Okay.
They don't seem to be, and the ones in front of you standing all around the central dais are standing completely to attention.
Are they animated? Do they move at all?
These are not moving at all. They're extremely lifelike, but they're doing nothing at all.
Okay. Does fire work very well on sand?
Does if you like glass.
It makes it into glass.
Glass breaks really easy when you smash it. Well, it smashes when you hit it. Okay. Not making that fire giant mistake again.
Also, as you're making your way in, another giant kind of steps into the room behind you as well.
Okay.
Sorry, you can return back to what you're saying, John.
Oh, I've lost my spiel now. So Xanhorn will address her as appropriately as he can and say, Countess Sensori, I apologise for my friend's misleading initial discussion. We've come here in search of, well, allies. You see, we've been fighting a fire giant invasion to the north, and we've become aware that they're intent on taking over the giants, the ordering to be the head of the Ordning and to crush the other giant factions. Indeed, they're trying to find some sort of dragon-slaying device with which they can take over the Sword Coast. Now, we've been led to believe that you may not be okay with this, that you're the rightful head of the Ordning, and perhaps you would be the people to talk to in trying to thwart this.
Lord Zalto can do as he wishes. He's looking for the wrong things in the wrong places.
You have a better idea?
I have perfect ideas.
Of course.
I just don't think you small folk have such tiny brains. You can't possibly comprehend them.
I think you'd be surprised. We've managed to dismantle some significant chunks of the Fire Giants' plan. I know they're far beneath you, of course, but we thwarted several chunks of what they were trying to assemble.
No doubt you have. I'm sure you have done a great job saving the small folk of the Sword Coast, as you call it, from the Duke's threat.
Indeed.
So why are you here?
Well, as I say,
my business.
We didn't mean to intrude. However, we don't believe that it's just the Sword Coast that Lord Zalto is after. Indeed, we believe he wants to rule with a fiery fist. And we believe that you might be interested in avoiding that happening, which is why we've come to beseech you in terms of finding another ally with which to thwart him.
So you're trying to beseech my help in stopping the Duke, is that what you're saying?
Indeed.
Why should I help you? Duke Salto's affairs are of no concern of mine. He's chasing of nonsense.
Well, he's definitely found some pieces of some fairly powerful artifacts.
Oh, he's found some trinkets from a bygone age.
They are more than trinkets.
Oh, to you small folk, no doubt they are. Way beyond even the birth of your puny race, no doubt.
That as may be. Xanhorn's starting to lose the end of his trail. He's like starting to look slightly helpless towards Havarl and Cenza and Benjin. Like,
Benjin's getting ready for a fight, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. He'll say, all we ask, we think that you may have someone we've used before, a compatriot, a young, small person such as ourselves, known as Felgalas. He would be instrumental in once and for all taking Zalto down. With his help, we could remove that, albeit tiny, thorn from your side.
She replies simply to that of a almost cold, emotionless response, and just says, "That individual is of no concern to you. He's assisting me at this time."
Perhaps we could assist you in his place then.
I don't believe so.
My hand is Havarl's hand is the hilt of his sword, the handle of his sword. The other hand is reaching for his little pocket of patches. Just waiting for the nod, I think.
You have no interest then in taking Zalto down, because we believe he's on the
other giants. I have no concern over what the other giants are doing, and I'll be even less concerned when I am made head of the Ordning.
Talking of your head.
Oh God.
the individual, the dragon, Felgalas.
Yes.
I would very much appreciate it if you released him and let him come with us.
That is not going to happen.
Well, did I introduce us properly? We are the champions of chance, you see. We see a chance and we take it, and we are champions of that. And with that, I would like to roll for initiative.
Oh, God.
Somebody has been taking hints from Benjin, I think, there.
Xanhorn will literally do a double take.
Right then, gents, it is 9 o'clock. Do you wish to start this now?
10
or
o'clock.
10 o'clock, sorry. Do you want to carry on, or do you want to leave this until...
Honestly, I think that's the perfect cliffhanger.
I think that's the perfect cliffhanger myself. I think that's a perfect point to...
And considering my roles for this evening, I'd definitely like to leave it
Yes.
until next time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, then. With that, then, we shall draw things to a close for the evening.
We were so close to a... We weren't close, were we?
We weren't close, well, we were nowhere near.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her about the Nightstone.
You can
She's got the Nightstone somewhere.
You can still ask her about the Night Zone at sword point. Okay.
Yeah. But whose sword is doing the pointing?
We got this. We've taken down fire giants before. These are cloud giants, aren't they? But there's not much difference in them. Except these ones
Several
set on fire.
feet.
These ones set on fire, right? Are these ones especially smarter?
We'll
Are
see
they
there.
much?
I
Sorry,
think
are
they're the
these
smartest.
Are these ones much smarter, more intelligent?
You'll have to ask Cenza. Cenza's got his guide to giants.
I did notice that in the Champions.
Yes,
Journal.
I added it to the Champions Journal if you all have a look in there.
Ah,
Cool. Well, maybe we'll take a look at that offline.
Yeah.
yes.
In which case, to those of you who are watching, assuming there is anyone, we'll say goodnight, and it may be us next week. It may be the Masters of Fate. There's a few bits and pieces going on, but one way or another, someone will be back for some more D&D next week.
Lovely.
So from us, it's good night.
Good night.
Night,
Night.
folks.
Good night.
Bye.